One of the reasons why your back may be feeling tight is you might be lacking in terms of your ability to internally and externally rotate from your hips, just like what I'm doing here. However, this position may be too challenging yet for some of you, so I'll show you today on how you can do it step by step based on your own ability. Check this out. So first, determine on which would be the hip external rotation and which would be the hip internal rotation based on your position. So the leg in front is what we call the external rotation. In other words, if the knee is facing out, and the one that's facing in is your internal rotation. Okay, so this is how it looks here from a side angle. First thing that you may notice is that check if you can do or maintain this position without your hands touching the floor. If suddenly this part of your hip starts to cramp, then you may just quickly get into your side lying position, or if that still cramps, then you may start this one with you lying on your back. So this is how it's going to look like lying on your back. Then you may start by keeping your feet down, then just rotating from the hip as you do that windscreen wiper type of motion using your legs. That starts the movement from the hip. So this is step number 1, is doing the windscreen wiper. Step number 2 is moving from a lying down position to just placing your hands behind your back position as you do your windscreen wiper from the hips. This is also what we call the 90-90 rotation, because technically what happens there is that one leg is in front of you, 90-degree position, one leg is onto your side, it's also in a 90-degree position, and you're just using that one as the base in order for your hips to find the rotation that it can do. Step number 3 this time is creating internal rotation from the externally rotated hip. So you may just place your hands behind your back, then try to lift this knee off from the floor by generating movement from the inner part of your hip. The next on that one would be, if this is your internally rotated hip, you're going to create external rotation by generating movement from the hip. So just by lifting it up, then slowly lowering it down. What's important here is that you take your time to go really slow on the returning down, then lifting it up with full intention of driving it from the hip. Last step from there is having no hands on the floor and just being able to completely transition your externally rotated hip and your internally rotated hip to do the opposite position. So just doing this, no hands on the floor, 90-90 hip rotation. So this is what I would suggest before doing any hip dominant exercises, just to mobilize your hips to help create better room for movement that may relieve any stress on your lower back.